In 2 of the last 3 races, Ron Silk has driven to victory lane and carries momentum into the final race of the season. While Silk searches for another victory, Justin Bonsignore looks to secure his 2nd series championship. His challenger is 6-time champion Doug Coby, who will start from the pole as both seek to hoist the coveted Whelen Modified Tour Trophy. It's the World Series of Speedway Racing, right now from Thompson Speedway.
And we are getting ready for 150 laps of fireworks, the final race of the season for the Whelen Modified Tour. Could this be a big day for Justin Bonsignore? I'm Matt Buckler, and we are delighted to have with us our expert commentator, a man who has won the 1992 championship, Rick Fuller. Rick, put yourself in Justin Bonsignore's position. What do you think his thoughts are?
I can tell you right now that his competitor, Doug Coby, everyone in the garage is talking about how fast that car is today, and it's not falling off. So, Justin, this is not going to be a cakewalk for him. He's got his work cut out for him.
And he has to finish 23rd or better to clinch the championship, his 2nd in 3 years. What does Doug Coby have to do to be the spoiler?
Doug Coby just has to do what he always does, go out and win the race. Doug is a fierce competitor. He's been doing this a long time. 6 championships, that speaks for itself. He knows what to do here.
And the hottest driver, Ron Silk. What is his mindset?
Well, like you said, he's got momentum. He's won the last 2 races, and that brings a lot of confidence to it. So, he's definitely going to be a competitor.
So anybody that you see out in the field who might be considered to be a dark horse, who we might be focusing our attention on?
Your top 3 guys there, I really think that they're going to be the cream of the crop.
Okay, we are going to be ready to start the command. Ronnie Williams in car number 50, starting on the outside of the 2nd row. It was the icebreaker a couple of seasons back, that Justin Bonsignore won the race, but Ronnie Williams almost took it from him with 2 laps to go. So Ronnie Williams, there is a guy, I don't think he ever gets nervous, Ricky. He is one of the calmest drivers around, so he might have an opportunity to steal the show today.
Absolutely. He definitely knows how to get around this racetrack, and he might feel like he had one taken away from him that time, so he may be just a little bit hungrier.
And we look back into the 3rd row. Chris Pastriak, one of those guys, he's turned 40 this year, but it seems he's been around forever. Of course, Uncle Carl and his dad, Charlie, they have raced here. And Charlie, his one tour win was here at Thompson in the 1994 Icebreaker. So Chris Pastriak, a lot of people will be pulling for him today.
Well, and me too, Matt. I raced against his dad and his uncle, real, class act. They're good people, good competitors, and Chris is no different. He's got the respect of these other guys out here.
Now, Pete Falcone will be our pit reporter today, and we will be checking with him throughout the afternoon. And Eric Goodale. Eric Goodale has not had the season that he had anticipated. He'll be starting alongside Ron Silk in row number 5. And when you start in the middle of the pack, do you charge in the beginning? Do you wait for things to sort out? Really, what would you do when you're starting in the middle of the pack?
This race is long enough. You've got to let it sort out. You don't want to be the reason for the first caution. You just want to kind of settle in and let everyone figure out what they've got underneath them, what they can and they can't do. And somebody else that we got to think about is John McKennedy. He's already won a race here today.
Yeah, in the Super Modifieds, he has 2 poles this season. So John McKennedy, he has had 2 races in the top 5, finishing 3rd at Jennerstown, and in the race at Thompson, he was 3rd. 30 seconds to command. So we are just about ready to send it down, and we will get the party started here. It has been a great World Series, and we are just about ready to turn the ignition key on what should be an exciting afternoon. As always, the season ends at Thompson Speedway. Kyle Sousa giving the command, and that sound you hear means that we are ready to go racing for 150 laps. Rick Fuller, our expert commentator, we will be doing our negotiating after the race, but right now we are interested in 150 laps. When you're starting in the back of the field, I guess you have to have that same mindset as the guys in the middle of the pack. You don't want to be creating that first caution period.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if you're in the middle, you know, I mean, you can be gathered up in something that has nothing to do with you. You're better off to actually be at the tail end. You have the chance to react to it, Matt.
Okay, the tire rule. You can change 2 tires during the course, or 3 tires during the course of the race, and unlike the last race at Stafford, you can change all 3 at the same time. Now, normally what the drivers will tell you is they like to come in at the halfway point if the caution flags agree with them, but I guess the strategy changes with every lap. Nobody really knows what they're going to do. Is that an accurate statement?
Oh, absolutely. You've got to see how the race shakes out. I mean, you don't. If it's a caution-filled race, you're not coming in at halfway. You know, I mean, you're going to wait as long as you can so that you get the freshest tires. And you know, if the thing goes green to 3/4 of the way, I mean, yeah, you got to come now.
And usually, when we have a long green and then there's a caution, the leader sets the direction. If he goes in, we will. Everybody goes in.
Yeah, right. I mean, you need to follow the leader, you know, because you're going to be chasing the guy all day long.
So it looks like our field is starting to move. Doug Kobe in that patriotic red, white, and blue, number 10. And 2 is outside, Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling has had experience starting on the front row before. And Woody Pitcat now starts to move in car number 1. So we will have 4 parade laps. And then we will go. We caught up with Justin Bonsignore before the race. Let's hear from our point leader.
Yeah, obviously we got a nice little bit of breathing room, but at the same time we you know, got to keep our nose clean here in the beginning, see how the race plays out. Hopefully by the time we get to the pit stops we can have a little clearer picture on how we can attack the second half of the race. But more than anything, we want to try and win a race today and go into the offseason with some more momentum and hopefully a second title.
Second in the point standings is Doug Kobe. Let's hear from him.
Yeah, you know, it's always nice to end the season on a high note. We were fastest in practice and was able to get the pole yesterday with a really solid run. And just seems like this weekend the track's a little weird for everybody. It seems like times are a lot slower than we're used to here, and everybody's struggling for grip up off the corner. But our Mayhew Tools number 10 had a ton of grip in qualifying and put her on the pin.
Okay, Rick, did you hear anything in those 2 sound bites that interested you or piqued your attention?
Well, I'll tell you, Matt, what I just heard from Doug Kobe is what I was thinking in the back of my mind. There's only been one other event on this racetrack so far this year. There's no rubber. This racetrack is completely green. They don't, you know, the multiple grooves aren't.
Let's check in with the 3rd member of our team, Pete Falcone.
You know, Matt, the pit stops are crucial, and in order to get in and out of the pits fast so you don't get mired back in the field, if you do, you'll end up using up everything you gain by making the pit stop. So efficiency is the key, and one of the most efficient teams on the tour is working for the championship contender today. That'd be the 51 crew under Ryan Stone for Justin Bonsignore.
So I believe we'll have 2 more rehearsal laps and then get ready for action. Rick, what is on your driver's mind when you're having these pace laps and you're getting ready to go to work?
Well, you've got plenty that you're doing in there right now, Matt. They're swerving back and forth. They're trying to get heat in the tires. They're dragging the brake, trying to get the brakes warm so that when they launch down into the first corner, the car stops. They're checking their gauges. They're making sure the belts are tight. I mean, they're busy these 4 laps. You know, and it doesn't give them a lot of time to really worry about the start.
So as they come out of turn 4, we want everybody, get on your feet, wave whatever you have, show the drivers your support as they get ready for the final race of the season. Let's give our field a great send-off at the World Series. And they appreciate your support. Rick, did you ever look out and see the people waving and stuff? And if you did, what were you thinking?
What, are you kidding? I mean, look at these guys are waving back. I know I used to. You know, without fans, there isn't a sport. Although, again, in 2020, there is in some places. But, you know, I mean, this is all for the fans. And these guys love that.
And Doug Coby, even though he is sitting on the pole, he is elected to go on the outside. Patrick Emmerling underneath him. And we are ready to turn the ignition key on 150 laps of fury. So get ready to light the fuse. Doug Coby on the outside. Let's see who gets the jump. It will be Coby on the outside. He might have got a nudge from Ronnie Williams. And the leader in the second turn is Coby. Here comes Williams, and he moves into second ahead of Emmerling.
Yeah, and it looks like he's bringing Pastriak with him. And the outside definitely looked better on that start, Matt.
And behind Pastriak, and now going to the outside, a good move by Emmerling. So he moves into the top three. Pastriak is behind him. And John McKennedy, he is breathing napalm on the outside as he tries to get around Bonsignor. And Bonsignor, he is in sixth place and now being challenged by Goodale. The outside groove definitely is the place to be.
Oh yeah, Goodale got just a little bit loose there, but it's definitely better than the bottom. And that's where you're going to see Bonsignor want to get to, and there he goes.
And Bonsignor, remember, has to finish in the top 23, regardless of what Coby does, to put a padlock on the championship. Best battle might be between Pastriak and now a yellow comes out for the first time, and it is a 14 car of the rookie driver Corey Oslin, who gets tangled up in turn number 3, bringing out the yellow on lap number 3.
Yeah, a couple of them get together there in the backstretch. The green number 59 there has a flat left front. I don't know if that's a product of them getting together or if it's what caused it, Matt.
So Oslin is able to get moving again as he goes across the start-finish line. But the 59 of Andy Jankowiak is stranded on pit road. So there might have been maybe some liquid on the track as our safety crew comes out. So we'll see what they do to the track. But an incident in turn number 3. And what are they doing on Jankowiak's car? Looks like they are scrutinizing the front end.
Yeah, they're just changing the left front tire. That was flat when he came to pit road. I'm not sure if he made, you can see the spoiler is crushed in on it too. And I don't know if he made contact and flattened the tire or if he was trying to get to pit road, and that's what involved the other car.
So he will be on his way back out. The man from the Buffalo area. He raced that car the last time the tour was at Thompson. So Justin Bonsignor did not get the greatest start in the world as he backpedaled to about 7th place. What happened?
Well, there's just, I mean, the grip on the outside, right, is just so much better. And, you know, I mean, Justin, you could see what happened there. I mean, he was struggling for his life just to try to get to the top of the racetrack. And he's not in a better spot right now.
So he is
still on the inside
in the number 7 spot. So he'll be on the inside of the 4th row alongside Craig Lutz. So he wants to get to the outside, I guess, as quickly as possible. I don't think any leader will be restarting on the inside in this race.
No, I don't either, Matt. I mean, and, you know, this for Justin, this could get worse before it gets better. But, you know, all he's got to do is just you know, keep his eyes on the prize and just worry about not getting involved in anyone else's mistakes.
So Matt Swanson will be behind him in row number 5. 6 laps complete for you newcomers to the World Series. In the Whelen Modified Tour, the caution flag laps do count. Not the same format that's used during our weekly division. So Coby on the inside, Ronnie Williams, remember he got a great start on the outside, but the roles are reversed, and now he is on the inside. So we'll see if he can keep up with the 10 car.
Yeah, you might see Pastriak push the 10 car on this start just to give him the advantage.
So they come out of turn number 4. And it will be Kobe getting the jump. And let's see if Pastriak can deal with Ronnie Williams in the fight for second.
Yeah, Pastriak's going to fill that hole. The top is definitely better early on here, Matt.
Look at Eric Goodale taking advantage of the outside giddy-up to move to the outside of Ronnie Williams, and he is going to invade his way into third place.
Yeah, you see Justin stuck on the bottom again, and he's losing spot after spot. He just needs to have someone give him a break and let him up top.
And right now, he is running far back as Bonsignor is in the number 10 spot. And right now, he is still on the inside. Kobe is in the lead, but the drama involves Bonsignor. Ronnie Silk right behind him in the 85, and nobody will allow him to get to the top.
Yeah, Silky's more worried about winning this race and not cutting any break to Justin. He can run down there. He's just going to lose a couple of more spots, I hope.
Well, when he crosses the line, Justin Bonsignor is in the number 10 position.
Yeah, he's got a chance to fall right in here, right behind Silk. No, he's going to get up in front of him here. Good for him.
So he is able to get where he needs to be on the outside in front of Ron Silk. The leader for the first 11 laps has been Doug Kobe, as he is leading by 0.3 of a second over Eric Goodale. Now it is Ronnie Williams. He has gotten to the outside, and he is going after the back bumper of Chris Pastriak.
Yeah, Chris's car doesn't seem to be getting off the corner as well as he'd probably like it to, and Ronnie Williams is definitely going to try to capitalize on that.
And right behind Ronnie Williams is Woody Pitkat in car number 1. We check out the fight for 4th, and look at Williams. He barnstorms his way underneath Pastriak, almost made it stick, and Ronnie Williams is not giving up.
Yeah, that was a really aggressive move on Ronnie's part. I know Pastriak is slowing down just a little bit, but that almost cost him both.
Now Woody Pitkat wanders to the outside of Williams, so they scoot off the corner, and Woody Pitkat taking advantage of the momentum of the outside groove. He is on the verge of getting by or trying to run down Pastriak.
Yeah, and John McKennedy just got by Williams too, and now Williams has managed to get himself back on top. And there goes Woody Pitkat for 4th.
As he catapults his way underneath Pastriak. So Woody Pitkat is in the top 4, one of his best runs. And now we check out the battle up front. Goodale, he is in the hip pocket of Kobe, and here he comes underneath Kobe.
Yeah, I don't know that he's going to actually make that move work. Your car got loose coming off underneath him, but he's definitely, it appears to have more speed than Doug.
You saw that wiggle as he came off of turn number 4, and that prevented him from getting by Kobe. Now moving up to be a major player, Craig Lutz in the 46. So we have a 3-way shootout for the top spot, with Kobe getting pressure from Goodale and Lutz.
Yeah, all Kobe's doing right now, he's just trying to run the car just as fast as he has to so he doesn't use up the tires. But these guys want to lead the race, and it might not play into Doug's hand.
Remember, if you lead the race, you get 1 point in the standings. And Goodale, he has been starving for points this year. So the top 3 battling for position with Doug Kobe, who has led virtually every lap, although Goodale did give him a battle. And Craig Lutz, he has 2 career wins, and he is lurking in the top 3.
Yeah, the top 3 have pulled away by about 8 or 10 car lengths from 4th place. And, I don't think that they're satisfied with the speed that Doug's trying to run, and they're going to try to take it.
And Goodale almost peaked underneath. He thought better of it. And Goodale now makes a statement down low, and he is going to try to take the lead from Kobe. And once again, he didn't have enough juice, so he retreats behind the 10 car.
Well, Goodale has to worry more about the car behind him as opposed to taking the lead. He's in the mirror right now. You can see he's full of that.
Okay, he is going to try to twist down low against Kobe. So he's caught between a rock and a hard place. The rock is Doug Kobe. The hard place is Craig Lutz. and Goodale is stuck in the middle.
Yeah, Goodale's stuck in the middle, and Lutz actually may be the faster car of these three, and he's just trying to be patient.
On the last lap, you are correct. Lutz running a 19.327, and that's better than the two guys in front of him.
Yeah, and again, I can't emphasize it enough. All Colby's trying to do is run just fast enough to keep these guys behind him and not use his stuff up.
Goodale into the wall, or keeps it off the wall, but he is in trouble.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what happened there, Matt. It looked like there may have been a little bit of contact from behind.
And Lutz was a guy behind Goodale, and we see the driver moving around as Eric Goodale has had a frustrating season, as his best finish all season long has been 9th. So he has not had a top 5 finish all season long. And Eric Goodale, you consider him to be one of the premier drivers in the Whelen Tour. Doug Colby has the lead after 23 laps. And Justin Bonsignor is running in 9th, the second caution flag of the race. We'll take another look at it.
Oh, you see, look at that, Matt. Good thing for instant replay. I was wrong. I've never said that before.
It's a good thing we have it. We're recording it.
You know, I mean, it looked like the 58 jumped the right front tire over the over Colby's rear bumper, and it did not. There was no contact from behind.
Okay, so Goodale is out of the car, grabbing his helmet, and he has had a very frustrating season.
That's a shame, but you know, like you said, he's okay. You know, the safety of these cars and everything. I mean, he had the window net down right away, and you know, he's going to race another day.
And with Goodale out of the picture, I think one of the drivers who will benefit is Woody Pitkat, who will be starting on the. Actually, it will be John McKennedy who will be starting on the outside of the second row. And those cars look like almost identical twins. And it will be McKennedy who might take advantage of Doug Colby's power on the outside.
Absolutely. I expect McKennedy to take full advantage.
We will take another look at it. And Ricky, why don't you explain what happened between Colby and Goodale?
It looked to me like Goodale was about to make the bottom shot, and you know, I don't think Colby came down. He may have just misjudged it, but he absolutely drove up onto the left rear of the bumper of the 10 car, and the Colby doesn't come down. It doesn't look like to me, but it had nothing to do with the car in third.
And then it was Goodale. He hit the wall hard, and you can see by our picture, if you are watching on at home, just how hard he hit the wall and the damage that developed.
Yeah, they're at the end of the backstretch. They're going as fast as they're going to be going the entire lap, and he hit a ton. So you know, that car won't be coming back out today, Matt.
So it will be Doug Colby who has led all 26 laps so far. Lutz will be starting inside him on the restart. Woody Pitkat will be inside of the second row, and John McKennedy, he might have the power point.
You know, I tell you what, Matt, I'm looking at the left rear nerf bar of the 10 car of Doug Colby, and you know, you see the body's buckled in. I mean, there may be some damage there to cause a tire rub. He's got to be concerned about that.
And it's lap 26. I think it's too early to pit.
It's definitely too early to pit, unless there's a tire rub, and then you have to get it fixed.
So there is a question mark hovering over the car of Doug Colby as contact from behind administered by Eric Goodale. And we'll see how strong he is on this restart. And the man to keep an eye on, the 7 car, John McKennedy. If Colby goes out, expect McKennedy to go out there with him.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, McKennedy's right where he wants to be. You know, he's on the outside. He's behind Doug Colby, who's shown the most speed so far.
And Woody Pitkat in third. So the outside has been great on these restarts. We'll see if it is the power alley again as we get ready for a restart. And Colby comes out of the gate in a hurry.
And Ronnie Williams is following McKennedy.
So McKennedy trying to get by Lutz. As Lutz trying to squeeze him, but it's McKennedy. He moves into second, and Ronnie Williams is following his coattails. And Williams moves into third. Here's McKennedy going for the lead. Didn't have enough juice, and Colby protects his spot.
Yeah, McKennedy tried to make the bottom shot on Colby there, but it just wasn't, he wasn't in deep enough, and it wasn't going to work for him.
So right now, he has to be first behind the back bumper of the 10 car. Here comes McKennedy again, this time with more authority.
Yeah, Doug Colby's driving a little bit defensive there. He's coming out of 4 down here. He's kind of running the block a little bit, but McKennedy's going to make this pass.
Lap number 30, McKennedy trying to hold off Colby, and he does. New leader, John McKennedy. John McKennedy trying to end the season with his first win of the year. Ronnie Williams holding off Craig Lutz. And Ronnie Williams, he wanders to the outside of Colby.
Yeah, I don't think Craig Lutz is satisfied in 4th place here, but he should be. There's another restart, he'd be in a better spot.
Do you think of that?
Oh, absolutely. I want to be further up. I want to be 3rd, but I'd rather be in a good spot for a restart.
So you think of even numbers. And right now, it is Lutz in 4th.
Absolutely.
Pitcat behind him in 5th, but the man setting the pace is John McKennedy from Chelmsford, Mass., 33 years old, and he is fattening his lead over the 10 of Colby. And McKennedy, he is trying to lengthen his advantage. Now going down low, Woody Pitcat, as he is that is Lutz, and Lutz is in 3rd, so he is in an odd number position, but he is 3rd and breathing down the tailpipe of Doug Colby.
Yeah, that was a real power move by Craig Lutz going into 1 underneath Ronnie Williams. That car is definitely working well for him.
We haven't seen too many bottom shots pay off this weekend, but Lutz executed one there. Silk is making a move, so Ronnie Silk got by Emerling, and he is now in 6th place. And the 85, he got by the 07, and now the car immediately in front of him is a 1 driven by Woody Pitcat.
Yeah, Woody Pitcat just made a move on Ronnie Silk too. I wonder, you got to wonder, maybe Ronnie Silk having a problem, maybe the car backing up.
So he probably can't wait for the pit stop. Right now, Pitcat in car number 1. And Bonsignor is starting to pick things up, Rick, as Justin, he is in 11th place. So he has to be in the top 23. But right now, I think he has other thoughts in his mind, like, how do I get by Dave Sapienza?
Yeah, he's trying to get into the top 10 in case there's a caution, so at least he can be on the outside groove for the first time today.
So that would be a very important pass for Bonsignor, because it would give him an even number restart.
And we got Craig Lutz has moved into 2nd place around Doug Colby.
So Colby, who led for the first 30 laps, has now dropped to 3rd, and it is John McKennedy. He is leading the charge. And Craig Lutz, do you think he has a good enough car to catch McKennedy?
I think he does have a good enough car to catch McKennedy, but does he have to? You know, you got to remember, Doug Colby, he's doing what he has to do. He just wants to be around the front for when the pit stop comes and not use up all of his tires.
And the only even number on the restart, which is not good, is 2nd.
Exactly.
Because you have to go to the inside, because the leader gets the option, and he would choose the inside groove. So it is still McKennedy, 41 laps in. And Justin Bonsignor is running in 11th. McKennedy all by his lonesome. But there is Bonsignor trying to get underneath Sapienza. And Sapienza is driving him hard.
Yeah, he is. He's not really willing to give this up. You know, and he's, you know, the car looks like it's really loose to me, Matt. I don't know why he's fighting so hard for that spot.
And Sapienza, he almost got tilted on the last lap. Ronnie Williams holding his competitor off. There is Colby, and right behind him is, right behind Colby is Pitcat.
There's a spin in turn 3, Matt.
And that,
I can't see the numbers.
it looks like maybe Matt Swanson in a, well, it is Hosfeld Chuck Hosfeld is in the 2, and the 66 car is also in trouble. So
I didn't catch what happened there, Matt.
it happened behind the play. Timmy Salamito in the 66. Thompson is usually one of his better tracks, and we have our official quickly coming to Chuck Hosfeld's aid.
Right. Any time that the car's driver's side first against the wall, you err on the side of caution. Stop the cars, get out there and make sure that everyone's okay.
And there is your leader, John McKennedy, in car number 7, New York. 43 laps have finished, and the red flag is out. So right now, our safety officials are hovering over the 2 car of Chuck Hosfeld. And Justin Bonsignor, right behind Matt Swanson, he did get into the top 10. But we'll see how it plays out on the restart. But right now, we hope that we're hoping for the best for both Chuck Hosfeld and Timmy Salamito, especially Chuck Hosfeld.
Well, I'll tell you, Matt, I'm not really sure. Justin, he's trying to play it safe. But like I mentioned early, as soon as you go off your game and you're doing what you haven't done all year to get you where you need to be, it doesn't seem to be really working for him right now. He's back in 10th, but at least he's going to restart on the outside groove.
So Salamito is out of his car, and he is talking to the NASCAR officials. So Salamito, he had his bell rung, but hopefully he is okay. And he is one of the aggressive drivers. And now Chuck Hosfeld walking under his own power, and he is heading into the ambulance. So Chuck Hosfeld, we thought he had retired, but he had come back this season at the tail end of the year. Pete Falcone is with Eric Goodale.
And Eric's going to tell us exactly what happened when you went out back a few laps ago.
Yeah, I just got a run on the 10 coming out of 2 there, and I don't know if he flinched to go block me or what, or if I misjudged it, but got into his left rear with my right front and ended our day early, just the way our 2020's been going. So sucks the way that it ended, but I'm happy it's over. Moving on to 2021.
Well, that's a good spirit anyway, but sorry to see you out early today.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. It's never a good day when you're doing a TV interview with 100 laps still to go in the race. So we'll get her fixed up, roll her in the trailer, and move on.
So Eric Goodale talking to Pete Falcone. You're looking at John McKennedy's number 7 New York. Now, there was a 7 New York, which has already won at the World Series. It was driven in the Budweiser Modified Open race by Mike Christopher Jr., and he was able to get Chase Dowling with 9 laps to go to get the win. Tommy Baldwin Jr., the common denominator on both those cars. So he has had a good weekend so far, getting Mike Christopher to victory lane, and now he has John McKennedy out in front with 107 laps remaining in our World Series 150.
Yeah, Matt. Tommy Baldwin's got himself a real fast race car there. Like you said, that race yesterday with Mike Christopher Jr. John McKennedy, every time he's in this car, he's always a threat to win. And Tommy Baldwin's been around Thompson and Stafford Motor Speedway, for a long, long time. So, you've got to bet on the 7 New York car to win.
And the number 7 was driven here at Thompson by another driver, Tom Baldwin Sr. And he was just a fierce competitor.
He was a fun competitor, Matt. Tommy Jr.'s dad, I raced with him for a long time. A real good guy and fun to race with.
So our officials are checking out the 66. Craig Lutz in car number 46. He came onto the scene in a big way last year by winning the final race at Stafford, has one win this year, and you were impressed by the move he made to get into the top 2. So Lutz, he might have some power in that number 46 today.
Absolutely. Craig Lutz, I mean, the car looks like it's on rails. You can just pretty much put it anywhere he wants. He's driving a really smart, conservative race, it appears. The car, Woody Pitcat behind him, I mean, he seems to be doing the same thing. These cars look like they're handling like the car you want instead of the one that you end up with.
Now, John McKennedy has picked up 7 positions since the start of the race. Woody Pitcat 3. But the guy who's picked up more spots than anyone has been Calvin Carroll, who has 9 positions, started 22nd, and has moved up to 13th. And Sammy Ramo, the youngest driver in the field, 18 years old, has picked up 6 positions since we started. And right now our wreckers are picking up 2 cars, 2 double hooks on the same lap. Now, and our last race was at Stafford, and let's look back to the Stafford fall final as the early lead. We had early problems as there is Calvin Carroll. Ronnie Silk, keep an eye on him, as going around was Sammy Ramo in the 06. And hitting the wall hard was the 34 of J.B. Fortin. And then a lot of cars spinning out of control, including Eric Goodale in the 58. But Ronnie Silk was able to get the win. It was his 2nd win of the season. So that's what happened in the last race at Stafford. It looked a lot wilder in our 30-second video than it might have if you were at the track. A lot of stuff was going on.
Yeah, it was pretty wild, even if you were at the track, Matt. You might just not remember.
Yeah, you have just hit my Achilles heel. Ron Silk in car number 85. He has been on a tear in our last 4 races. He has finished 2nd at Monadnock, 1st at Thompson, 3rd at New Hampshire, and 1st at Stafford. He just has 1 bad race this year. The first race at White Mountain, he finished 27th, but everything else has been in the top 10. He also missed a race at Jennerstown, but he has, maybe people haven't talked about him that much, but that Stewart's Automotive number 85, it has been one of the signature cars of this season on the Whelen Modified Tour, the abbreviated season that it's been. In a normal year, if you have 4 great finishes in a row and you have 5 or 6 more races left, you could be a contender for the championship. Right now, the best that Ronnie Silk can hope for is to get his 3rd win of the year today.
Yeah, and he was caught up at White Mountain, something not even of his own doing, so it's a shame. But, again, 2020, right?
Yes, it has been a year that most people would like to forget. That's why I don't remember, Ricky, because I want to forget this year as quickly as possible. And it is John McKennedy out in front, Craig Lutz in 2nd. But Lutz will have the handicap of starting on the inside of this double file restart. Now, if you were on the inside, you know that the outside is a preferred groove. Is there any tricks that you can use to try to get a good restart?
Well, sure there is, Matt, but I told them to Megan, so I can't tell them to you. No, I'm just kidding. Actually, the biggest thing that you can do is try and throw the timing of the leader off. Just do something that might throw off his timing to just get that slight advantage. But good luck.
Okay, as the odds are against Craig Lutz as he restarts against McKennedy. And always we check out the guy who was in 4th. And right now it's Woody Pitcat. It looks like Jan Kowiak is going to get the lucky dog. So that will put the 59 car, I believe, back on the lead lap. So our yellow remains out. We have finished 45 laps, and here they come, led by Matt Swanson on pit road.
Wow, Matt, this is pretty early for pit stops, in my opinion, but that's probably why I'm up here and not down there.
Usually when you pit this early, it's because the driver is not happy with his car.
Yeah,
is that correct?
Yeah, and you might make a chassis adjustment right now, but not change any tires. That's exactly what they're doing on Matt Swanson's car. They're not going to put the new tires on. They appear to be making some sort of a wedge adjustment or a spring rubber.
And that's what they did to Sapienza's number 36. So it was a very fast pit stop. There is Sapienza. and he was battling Justin Bonsignore, racing him hard. But you mentioned at the time that his car looked loose to you. There is Matt Swanson in car number 3. As we go to Chuck Hosfeld, who was standing by with Pete Falcone.
Chuck Hosfeld out before even the 50-lap mark. Tell us what happened up there.
Yeah, Timmy and I got together. I don't know if he tried a shot on the bottom. My guy said that his brakes locked up, so I think he tried to dive to the bottom, and when his brakes locked up, we ended up hitting each other. Really unfortunate for my team. Steven and Bob Fuller and my guys put a lot of work into the car to make ourselves better this week, and I'm glad everyone's okay, because it was a pretty wild ride.
Yeah, scary when you end up driver's side to the wall like that. You're okay?
It's not funny at all, but it's like riding an amusement park ride and you're not sure you're going to make it off, you know? So I'm glad everyone involved's okay. I hate it for my team because beautiful cars wrecked, a lot of hard work that was put into it, and just glad everyone can get out and be okay. Thank you.
That is Chuck Hosfeld talking to Pete Falcone, our pit reporter. So I guess that is the number one thing, that everybody has made it out so they can race again.
Right. Well, that's what I was saying. Whenever it's driver's side first, the NASCAR is going to err on, they want to make sure the drivers are okay. So that's why you saw the red flag come out during that.
So the drivers are scrambling to get in their proper restart positions as we are approaching the 50-lap mark. Craig Lutz on the inside, Doug Coby on the outside, or John McKennedy on the outside. Doug Coby restarting in 3rd, and we have Woody Pitkat going on to pit road.
He's got a flat right front, Matt.
And that is a tough break to him, because he would have restarted in 4th. Instead of Twanny Silk, who's going to work against Lutz. Boy, that's an early Christmas present for Ron Silk. Gets into the outside, but he can't take advantage of it, and Lutz protects his 2nd place position.
Yeah, Lutz wandered up the racetrack a little bit further than he probably should have, but no harm, no foul, Matt.
And settling into 3rd is Silk. Now we have a side-by-side battle for 4th and 5th, as it is Doug Coby duking it out with Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling is on the outside. And Woody Pitkat, they have changed the tire, and he is back out on the track.
And Justin Bonsignore is right behind Doug Coby.
Bonsignore in 6th. So he is up in the high groove. Remember, if he finishes 23rd or better, he will win his 2nd championship in 3 years. Right now, Patrick Emmerling, remember, he started on the inside at the start, lost some positions. Now Bonsignore working against Doug Coby. If he finishes ahead of Coby, we won't have to do any of the arithmetic at the end of the race.
Well, that's good, Matt, because math isn't my strong point, but Coby is not satisfied where he is. He wants every position he can get.
And he is going after Patrick Emmerling, goes down low in an effort to get that spot. And once again, too much firepower for Emmerling in the 07. He is 4th, Coby 5th, and Bonsignore is right behind them. And Bonsignore, he took a nosedive down low to try to get underneath Coby. And he will play the waiting game. Here is Coby exploding. And Emmerling looked like he got sideways coming out of the corner, but Coby still couldn't get by him.
Yeah, you see they're running 2 completely different grooves down there in turn 4, Matt. Doug Coby's running on what we call the patch, and you get a lot more bite coming off the corner that way, where Emmerling, he goes above it, and then he tries to cross back around it, and it makes the car loose. At least that's what I always felt.
So Coby continues to pester the back bumper of the Emmerling car. Here he goes down low again. Does he have enough muscle? Not yet. And what's Coby going to try to do? He has tried everything in his repertoire, and nothing has worked so far against Emmerling.
No, it's not. I mean, and again, it's too early to start really using these tires up. I mean, you want to have something left in case this goes green the rest of the way, Matt.
Well, we are at lap number 55, and in a perfect race, a caution would come out around lap 75, and people would go in for tires. Right now, Emmerling, close call there for Coby, but he still can't get by him. And Bonsignore, what is his mindset? Running behind Coby, does he really want to press the issue?
I mean, I don't think Justin wants to press the issue on Doug Coby. He just wants to keep him in his windshield. He wants to know right where he is at all times.
And Kobe came the closest yet to getting by Emmerling. And again, he is stymied. And he is not going to give up. So that is the best battle on the track. McKennedy is leading, but Kobe hanging on to fourth by his toenails.
Yeah, you know, Justin Bonson, you might be just trying to get into Doug Colby's head. You're just by following him, and you see he's high, he's low, he's all over the place in the mirror, and he might be, maybe he's trying to get him to make a mistake.
Oh, he hasn't made one yet as he continues to hound and surround at number 07 of Emmerling, and Bonsignor is in the neighborhood. John McKennedy is leading Craig Lutz by 0.7 of a second. And he is on easy street at this time of the race. John McKennedy, 33 years old. He has started the weekend third in the point standings. And he has one win in his career. A little stutter step that time, entering turn one.
That wasn't really a stutter step. That's the character of the Thompson Speedway. There's a bump over there right at the old pit gate, and if you hit it just right, it feels like a rocket horse getting into the corner.
Okay, so McKennedy felt that feeling, getting by Andy Jankowiak, as Jankowiak is no longer on the lead lap. Here comes Craig Lutz to the outside, and Bonsignor continues to pressure Kobe, who continues to pressure Emmerling.
Yeah, I mean, this is the tightest battle on the racetrack right now. Everyone's just trying to settle in and get some laps to maybe get to halfway, and these guys are just torturing each other.
And administering the torture, Doug Kobe in the Mayhew Tools, number 10 car. Now, will Jankowiak play a factor? He gets down low, and Kobe has the room he needs to get by.
Jankowiak might be flirting with a minimum speed problem here. He's gone down a few laps since that last incident.
Now getting by Gary Byington, or trying to, is Patrick Emmerling. So he is able to move. So is Kobe. So is Bonsignor. And we see Emmerling. He really goes high in the corners, and that has worked.
Yeah, he runs the outside. I mean, that was always the preferred groove here with there's more rubber on the racetrack, but it seems to be working good for him today.
And at the front of the field, it is still a 0.7 of a second advantage for McKennedy over Lutz. So that strip remains the same.
Yeah, he's pulling away, probably a half a car length a lap from Lutz. I mean, he's definitely in the catbird seat here, Matt. He doesn't even have to push him.
Now, you would think on the next caution, we are far enough ahead in the race, lap number 66, that the next caution, we will see a mad scramble on pit road for tires. Is that what you would expect?
If there is another caution, Matt, yes, it will bring everyone to pit road.
And that is a big if. There is no guarantees that will happen, as McKennedy still lives a charmed life at the front of the field. Already has one win on World Series weekend in a Super Bonafide. So Tommy Baldwin, the car owner, has one win. And now McKennedy trying, as Craig Lutz running in second. And what is he thinking? As the lead has been 0.7 of a second for McKennedy, he really hasn't gained on him. Is he waiting for that pit stop?
Well, again, Matt, I mean, he might not be trying to gain on him. Right now, he's the student. He's watching everything that McKennedy's doing. Where's his strong point? Where's his weak point? How's his car working? What's he running, for lines? And he's just learning that so that when they do change tires, if they do change tires, that he's going to, he'll have some inside information.
So that isn't just a race car for Craig Lutz. It's a classroom.
Right now, it's, remote learning, just like all the other kids in the world.
McKennedy goes into turn number 2 in a hurry, and Lutz following him there in car number 46. Now the fight for third. When we last left, it was Patrick Emmerling with a battle with Doug Kobe. And it is Kobe kind of stretching out his advantage over Bonsignor, but he has lost sight of the 07. Now Ron Silk is having a good run. He is in third.
Yeah, Ronnie Silk is just running his own races, and nobody around him, Matt. Again, just managing the time, managing the laps, and just doing what he needs to do to get to that pit stop.
And Ron Silk, you know what he's good at, and I don't think he gets a lot of credit for it, tire management.
Absolutely. That's exactly what I'm saying. He's just doing what he...
So there is Ron Silk. He is your third place car. And he will be looking for his 5th top 5 in a row. And right behind him, Patrick Emmerling. Emmerling started on the inside. We have a problem in turn 4 as it is Sapienza who goes around in car number 36.
So, Matt, there's that caution we were talking about.
Okay, what's your prediction?
Oh, they're all coming.
All coming. So McKennedy, he will be the Pied Piper. Where he goes, everyone will follow him, at least the front runners.
You know, some of these other cars have already made their adjustments. They'll just come in for their tires. I don't think McKennedy's car needs any adjustments.
So the teams are stirring on pit road, getting ready. Now remember Craig Lutz last year at the World Series. He had the best car in the first half of the race, but during his pit stop, the lug nuts were dropped, and he never was the same after that. And all winter long, they thought about that pit stop, so I'm sure he might be thinking of it right now at the World Series, what happened to him a year ago.
Well, you can be sure that the pit crew's done plenty of practice so it doesn't happen to him again. You get a fast race car like that.
So we are at the halfway mark, which I guess if you could draw up a blueprint of that race, this is where you would want a caution to fall, right on lap number 73. So at lap number 75, you could go in from fresh rubber. Now, the pit gate is open, or pit road is open. The green flag is out. So now the race goes from the 5/8 of a mile oval onto pit road, and we'll see what John McKennedy does. He will be the first one to make a move. And Rick, as you predicted, he is on pit road. And now McKennedy. Following him is Lutz, Silk, Emmerling, Kobe, Bonsignor, Williams, Pastriak. As let's go to Pete Falcone with McKennedy's pit.
He's riding smooth here into his pit stall. They immediately go to work on the left rear of the 7. They are standing by to change the right front too. The air hose hooked up for just a second under the front of the car, but they are able to remedy that. Off comes the right front, and the new one goes on. Then they'll go to work on the right rear. And away a good quick stop for John McKennedy and Tommy Baldwin's crew.
So it is Justin Bonsignor. Where does he come out? As McKennedy leads the parade out. And what about our point leader? As Justin Bonsignor, his crew has a reputation for being the quickest tire changers in the division.
You saw down there on that pit stop, Matt.
But it is the 82, which was able to get the advantage off pit road, Anthony Nacella. So he will be behind the 25 of Carroll on this restart. So what did you learn on that pit stop, Rick?
Well, like we talked about, there didn't appear to be a lot of adjustments on the front runners. They got their 3 tires. It appeared that Tommy Baldwin Jr. had a little bit of problem on the right front of McKennedy's car, but it didn't seem to cost him all that much, so it doesn't matter that much.
And Woody Pitkat will get the lucky dog, so he will be back on the lead lap. And 78 laps have been completed here in the World Series 150. Calvin Carroll and Anthony Nacella, not the 2 names you would expect on the front row, but right behind them, the combination of McKennedy and Silk. And Bonsignor is 6, and that even number is good news for him, as he will be starting on the outside of this double file restart.
Yeah, Matt, and you were talking about should they pit, shouldn't they pit. If there was a lot of cars a lap down, You know, say there was only 10 cars on the lead lap, I would have waited. I would have wanted fresher tires later. But, I mean, there's only a couple of cars that have lost a lap in this race. So you'd be starting way back in the 20s, and it just wouldn't work.
24 of the 27 cars are still on the lead lap. So we are just about ready to get the party restarted. Woody Pitkat will wander back to the rear of the field. Now Ken Hagee will be coming back out. He will be a late arrival to the crowd. So it'll be the moment of truth for Calvin Carroll, as like all leaders, he will restart on the outside. Calvin Carroll, he has been around for a long time, but he is only 20 years old.
Yeah, you know, Matt, I haven't seen a lot of his racing career, but maybe that's why. It hasn't been that long.
Yeah, nobody has seen it. We'll see what Anthony Nacella can do in that 82. Nacella, an experienced competitor, not just on the modified tour, but he also competed in the super modifieds this weekend. And we are ready to turn him loose. And McKennedy and Silk in the second row. McKennedy on the inside. And it is Carroll. And here comes Ron Silk trying to take second away from Nacella.
You see Justin, he's up there on the outside for the first time today. He finally got a break on a restart.
And he is taking advantage of that break, going from 6th to 3rd.
Yeah, John McKennedy's going backwards. He's going the wrong way.
So he started on the inside, and you see how his car is handling. It's not handling. Up in the front, Calvin Carroll, but he knows Ronnie Silk. The red-hot Ronnie Silk is right behind him.
And here he comes.
The torpedo move by Silk. And on lap number 82, Ronnie Silk is out in front.
Caution. There's a car spun on the bottom of the backstretch. We can't see the number of it yet.
Ronnie Williams.
Ronnie Williams goes around on the backstretch, man.
Just when Silk grabbed the lead from Calvin Carroll, that was a pretty serious move by the driver of car number 85. And Ronnie Williams, who was tough early in this race, now has some headaches as he will have to go to the rear of the field, as we will take another look at what happened to Ronnie Williams. As he goes into John Deere country.
It looked like the two cars in front of him, Matt, may have touched, and he lifted and just got the car sideways, but no damage, and Woody Pickat's back on pit road.
So his time at the lead lap, on the lead lap, might have been short-lived, as the rear tires are being changed on the number 1 car. He is in 17th place and is still on the lead lap.
Right. Well,
and he will have fresh rubber.
He hung around for the lucky dog. He got his lap back. Now he gets his tires. So he's actually in pretty good shape.
So just the way he planned it.
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it is, Matt.
Calvin Carroll will be battling Ronnie Silk in car number 85. Getting the lead dog this time will be Corey Osland from East Hampton, New York. A rookie competitor in his first start of the year. Just trying to get a head start. Pitkat is back out, and he will go to the rear of the field in 17th place. But the important thing is he is on the lead lap.
Right. It gives him a fighting chance, Matt.
And he has about 7 laps fresher tires than his competition.
But he'll probably use them all up coming from 17th.
The good news and the bad news.
We're on lap 84 right now. I mean, he's got plenty of time.
So remember, because we did not complete that lap, Calvin Carroll will still have the lead. And Osland now goes in front of the pace car to join his buddies at the rear of the field. Now Bonsignor restarting in the number 3 spot. Now we saw what happened to McKennedy when he restarted in 3rd. Will the same malady be inflicted on Justin Bonsignor?
I mean, it has the entire race so far, so, you know, I mean, unless somebody makes a mistake, he's probably going to lose a few spots, Matt.
And his cousin is on the outside of him, Kyle Bonsignor.
So, you know, he's not going to cut him a break.
No, and Kyle, he had a lot of headaches at Stafford. They worked hard to get that car remedied. So Justin Bonsignore had a lot of confidence at the start of the weekend.
Here we come to the restart.
And it will be some firepower for Carroll. He wiggles. Let's see if Silk can take advantage of that on the inside.
Yeah, he got into Ronnie just a little bit, but it didn't seem to affect him, and he gets the lead from him.
And here comes Bonsignore as he tries to swoop underneath the 25 of Carroll. And Bonsignore, he is going to diesel his way into second.
Yeah, that bottom shot worked for him that time.
Now Lutz's trying to make the same bottom shot. He is fighting for third with Carroll, and he is able to pull it off.
Yeah, they're moving Carroll just a little bit further up the racetrack than he's comfortable with being, and that's how they're getting by him.
Now Bonsignore getting by Carroll, and trying to on the inside. And now almost making it 3 wide was McKennedy. So McKennedy came back to life.
Yeah,
Here is Bonsignore back in front for the first time. Not back in front, but has the lead. So when the leader wins the race, you don't have to do any arithmetic, and that's what Bonsignore, he is your pace setter right now.
Yeah, he just wants to make it easy on all of us.
And Silk doesn't want to make it easy, as he's going to put some pressure on Justin Bonsignore. So what a magical mystery tour this has been for Bonsignore. Now McKennedy trying to make a move. Here is Silk. Down low, but a little caffeine switch for the number 85, and he lost his momentum.
Yeah, the 85 looks faster. He's just going to figure out a way to make the pass without using up too much tire, so it's got to be a quick one.
So he is hounding the back bumper of Justin Bonsignore. The 46 of Craig Lutz is in third. Room on the inside for Silk, but he's not quick enough to take advantage of it.
Justin changed his lane there, his line just a little bit. I don't know if it was to take some of the momentum away from Silk, but it seems to have worked.
Let's see what Silk does this time, and he has to be careful because Lutz is breathing down his fire suit, and Silk took it down low, didn't have enough, so he plays a waiting game. And you see what Silk wants to do is to try to make this move as quickly as he can so he can save some rubber.
Yeah, well, you see that McKennedy is starting to roll into this picture too. We got a car spun over in turn 2,
That's
and
Tommy
the caution is out.
Tommy Catalano in car number 54 has brought out another caution on lap number 93.
I didn't see if there was any contact there or not, Ben. I'm kind of watching the battle for the lead.
Yeah, and Ronnie Silk is trying, but right now he doesn't have enough bite to get underneath the 51 of Bonsignore.
That was getting ready to be a really strong 5-car battle.
Now Bonsignore has won 7 out of the last 8 races on the tour here at Thompson. So this is his favorite track, and this has not been an easy path to the front, as I think he was as far back as 11th in this race until, as you said, he finally started getting brakes on the restart, and he was able to move back up. As we check out what is happening on Tommy Catalano's number 54.
The tires all appear to be up. I'm not sure how he got around. I think he's got a right front tie rod maybe bent. The car doesn't seem to be steering right.
No, and it doesn't all look too healthy as he is able to hobble off pit road.
He's going to hobble behind the wall. I think the car is terminal, and they're going to put it behind.
Pete Falcone has more information.
We are in the 51 pit with Ryan Stone right now. You're sitting in a good place, right where you want to be, I would assume.
Yeah, we got stuck on the bottom the first part of the race and had a good pit stop. The guys did a great job. Justin hung in there. We were pretty loose on the first run, but we're kind of controlling the race right now. Silky's always tough, so those guys usually have some pretty good battles here. Still quite a few laps to go. We'll see what happens, but we're right where we need to be right now.
What's he saying about the car?
The car's pretty good now. He made some adjustments on that last stop and tightened it up, and he's pretty happy, but that was a little short run, so got to go a little further to see, but got a long way to go.
Now, Rick Fuller pointed out earlier, as we look at our leader, Justin Bonsignore, that Matt Swanson pitted early in this race. They just made it adjustments. He didn't change tires. Look at what they're doing now to the 3-car.
You know, Matt, again, if only there was less cars on the lead lap, that's the winning race move right there. Is 50 laps to go, and you've got 3 brand new tires on the car.
but we do have 21 cars on the lead lap, so that means Matt Swanson will have a lot of passing to do, and you always put yourself in jeopardy. Sometimes you can get through the traffic, but sometimes the traffic goes through you.
Right, and you know, you're racing right now with guys that you haven't been racing with all day, so you don't even know how their cars are handling. So you're right, it's kind of a risky move.
So he will restart in the 20th position. A long way to go until he gets to the leader, who is Justin Bonsignor. Pixie outside on the restart. And Ronnie Silk, let's see how tough he can compete on the inside.
Oh, you know Ronnie's going to be tough.
So it'll be lap number 97 when they hit the line. And Silk got a little bit of a slight advantage at the start. But Bonsignor settles back into second. Ronnie Silk, he is able to gain the lead.
Ronnie Silk had, like you pointed out, had a little bit of an advantage. And I think it just kind of, we got a problem in turn 4.
Emerling, one of the cars involved, Doug Colby. Doug Colby in turn 4.
Yeah, Doug's got serious damage to the right front of that car and the rear.
The back of the car looks like a crumbled wad of paper as that rear car disintegrates on the number 10 of Colby. He started on the pole, led for the first 30 laps, but ever since he lost the lead, he really has had a struggle. And I guess we said that Silk had the edge on the restart, and he did. He jumped the start, so he has to go through pit road. That is a drive-through penalty on Ron Silk. So we are going to see what Ron Silk did here on replay. And Rick, I'm sure you are the right man to call this, as it was the 07 and the 10 that got together in turn 4.
Yeah, see what happened up front here. You get a little bit of jingle and then a chain reaction. You see the McKennedy runs into the car in front of him, so the 07 has to lift, and Doug has nowhere to go except get collected into it.
So I guess you can sum that up with the 4 simple words: wrong place, wrong time.
Correct.
And Doug Colby, it's very rare at Thompson to ever see that car have any difficulty. And things got jammed up in turn number 4. And Ron Silk, remember, he had the lead coming out of his start, but he jumped the start. So he will have to go to the rear of the field. So he is in the suburbs and in the mainstream, and in the lead, Justin Bonsignor. And I think the Ryan Stone and company will not be displeased with that. Let's check out what happened. One more look, as here is Salk coming off the corner, and behind him, Emmerling and Colby collide.
Yeah, I mean, you can see that Kyle Bonsignor tries not to get into, was it Justin in front of him? And that caused that chain reaction. Kyle Bonsignor just hesitated a little bit coming off the corner. Nobody expected it behind him. It caught him off guard, and the result is Colby's car is wrecked.
And there is Kyle Bonsignor in the number 22 car. Up at the front is his cousin, Justin Bonsignor. And Kyle will be in the number 3 position, but usually the number 4 is a hot spot on the track, and that position will be maintained by John McKennedy. That is caution number 7. And I didn't know this. We know our modified tour drivers usually come from either Connecticut or Long Island or Pennsylvania. Kyle Bonsignor, he lives in the heartland. I believe in Wisconsin is where Kyle Bonsignor lives, so that's a pretty long commute to get to Thompson.
I did not know that. He probably didn't stay at home last night.
Well, as long as he wasn't hanging out with us, he probably had a safe night.
Yeah, they've towed the Colby car away from the scene right now. What a shame for Doug Colby. I mean, he's had such a good year, and you know, with the new team and everything, and it's just too bad. And looks
Colby's worst finish this year was 9th. So right now he is being scored in 21st So by far his most dismal performance of the year. And as you pointed out, he just happened to be unlucky.
Right.
It wasn't any mistake that he made.
Nope, just a victim of circumstance. We're coming to the restart here. You know, Justin now Justin can just, you know, he can just let it rip. You know, I mean, you know, it doesn't matter. Nothing like winning the championship in victory lane, Matt.
Yes, as the cash register is starting to click for the 51 of Bonsignor, as he just has to make it through these last 48 laps. 47 when they hit the line. Craig Lutz doing everything he can to get the lead from Bonsignor.
Yeah, but John McKennedy's trying not to let that happen, but Lutz pulls the pass off, Matt.
And look at Kyle Bonsignor pressuring McKennedy for third. Chris Pastriak, he is aroused, getting underneath Sammy Ramo. They come together, Ramo and Pastriak. McKennedy on the outside, gets by Bonsignor.
Boy, look at this. They're 2x2x2x2, Matt. This is insane this late in the race.
And remember, we thought Ronnie Williams might have been finished. He is in 7th place. Pretty good comeback for him, challenging Pastriak for the number 6 position.
Yeah, Pastriak just needs to get behind Ronnie Williams right now.
It is McKennedy holding off Bonsignor. And Chris Pastriak, he's trying to swashbuckle his way underneath Williams. Bonsignor going to work on the back bumper of McKennedy. And he goes up high, maybe trying to crossover move. He thinks better of it. Our leader continues to be Craig Lutz.
Yeah, Lutz is, I mean, his car looks good. I'm not sure if Justin has anything for him, but I mean, we still have 30 odd laps to go.
And even if Bonsignor should wreck, he would be in the number 20 position, and all he has to do is finish 23rd or better.
Yeah, with 33 laps to go here, Matt. I mean, you know, the race isn't as important as the championship for Justin.
So you don't think he'll take any chances?
Like I said, it's you know, win the championship in victory lane is pretty cool, but rolling into victory lane is really cool too.
McKennedy getting a challenge from behind by Kyle Bonsignor in the 22, and McKennedy cruising along in 3rd. It would be his third place finish of the year if he could hold on, but I think he wants better than that, as we still have 41 laps to go.
You see Kyle Bonsignor, I mean, he's just not letting up on McKennedy. He's got inside into 3. He's going to move him up the racetrack just a little bit of contact.
And McKennedy, he doesn't like that, so he tries to get back at Bonsignor. But Bonsignor takes the spot, but not for long. Here comes McKennedy. They are having their own war. Yep. McKennedy into 7 and Bonsignor into 22.
And now payback.
And McKennedy is able to get by Kyle Bonsignor. So it has been an adventuresome afternoon for McKennedy. But he had the lead for a while, and now he's fighting tooth and nail with Kyle Bonsignor for 3rd.
And while these two guys are swapping spots back and forth, McKennedy and Bonsignor, the leaders are pulling away. They need to get organized. They need to just focus on catching the leaders.
Craig Lutz looking for his 3rd tour win of his career and his first at Thompson, as he is holding off Bonsignor. And Kyle Bonsignor, the countdown is started. Bonsignor is 37 laps away from a title.
You know, Matt, if you think about it, that'd be pretty cool if his brother won the championship and he won the race. They wouldn't have to find each other to celebrate.
No, it would be right at Thompson Victory Lane. But Craig Lutz could be the party pooper there, as the Bonsignor cousins, Kyle and Justin, and there is McKennedy. Boy, McKennedy has had to work hard to keep Kyle Bonsignor off his back bumper.
Yeah, but he's got himself a little bit of breathing room now. At least now maybe we got a caution. We got a car in the turn 1 wall.
So a car stranded. Oslin in the 14.
There's a bunch of spare parts up there too.
So it looks like a junkyard in the corner. And it is Hagee in the 18 going on pit road. And the red flag is out. 36 laps left in the season in the Whelen Modified Tour.
Yeah, you see Oslin's window net is down, so he's okay.
And we are looking at Ken Hagee in car number 18, his first race of the year. And I guess when you wait until the end of the season to come out, you want to get a jump start on 2021.
Yeah.
One tire is completely off that number 14 car as he pummeled the wall in turn number 2.
And you saw in that last shot, the 18's got a flat right front. I'm not sure if it's from contact or debris because, like I said, there's a junkyard over there.
And we see tires, Nerf bars.
Complete spindle and brake assembly.
The flea market is starting early here at Thompson. And that 2 cars now, the top 2, like everybody else, will have to wait. Craig Lutz in the Riverhead Building Supply, number 46, and Phoenix Communications, number 51 car, driven by Justin Bonsignor. And Craig Lutz, he had an interesting way into the modifieds. Being from Long Island, most of the Long Island guys, if they're going to race modifieds, do it at Riverhead. Craig's father, Eric, well, that is a good picture there as Corey Oslin is walking out of the car and into the back of the ambulance, but he is walking without any help from our emergency technicians. So that is a good sign.
Yeah, he's taken a couple of deep breaths, but that was a ferocious hit to rip the suspension off the car like that.
But Craig Lutz, instead of going to Riverhead, his father didn't like Riverhead. So instead, they went to the Connecticut tracks. The first time I saw the Lutz family was right here at Thompson for practice. So they raced at Thompson for a couple races at Stafford, and then they settled into Waterford. So while most drivers from Long Island, they get their experience at Riverhead, Lutz really never raced there until he went into the Whelen Modified Tour, as he was mainly a Connecticut driver until he advanced into the Whelen Modified Tour. So a little bit unusual.
Yeah, I can't believe you said that there's people that don't like Riverhead, Matt. I happen to love the place. It's an exciting racetrack, and it's fun to either watch or race at.
So if you love it, it obviously means that you won a few races there.
Maybe a couple.
Sammy Ramo in car number 06, and he has had a pretty hard-fought battle. Right now in 5th place, so he started pretty far back in 21st, and because of all the commotion that we've had in this race, he has been able to infiltrate his way into the top 5.
Yep, Sammy's he's 18 years old, I think he is. I've known the family for quite a while. He came from the quarter midget track. I know his dad, Randy, he helped out with my son and my daughter's quarter midget racing. And Sammy's really, really come into his own. He's doing an amazing job. And to be in the top 5 this late in the race, kudos to them.
And let's check out Randy or Sammy Ramo's line. His best finish this year was 8th, and that was a Monadnock, and that was his only top 10 of the year. So he has a pretty good opportunity with 35 laps remaining to get his best start. Ronnie Williams, you talk about a guy who's been on a seesaw. He has had his ups and had his downs. And right now, Ronnie Williams, after we almost counted him out, is running in 6th place.
Yeah, I mean, Ronnie, a lot like Justin, he couldn't get a break on some of those restarts, and it took him a lot longer to get back up through. But you can't ever count Ronnie Williams out here.
And I call him a fast learner, as it seems that everything he touches turns into checkers. And Pasriak in car number 75, remember he had a good qualifying run, and Pasriak has had a 4th place finish in the first race at Thompson. So obviously he loves tour racing at Thompson, because right now Pasriak is 7th, and he has a chance for his best run of the season in the Dawley's Collision Center, number 75.
Yeah, Chris Pasriak always runs really well here at Thompson.
Let's go to Pete Falcone.
Doug Coby, not the way you wanted to end the 2020 season.
No, not at all. You know, we had a decent car. We were kind of struggling, I think, with a lot of people trying to find some grip, and the guys made some good changes after the pit stop, and we were racy enough, I think, to kind of hold our own and be okay on restarts, but the guys just checked up down there in 3 and 4. Somebody got out of shape, I think, in the middle of the corner, and kind of, this is like the one time that I wasn't square on somebody, and I got him right with the right front tire and didn't even really have a chance to square up with the bumper, and then I think I got shoved in again after that, so broke the right front and some other stuff. So just not our day. Bound to happen sooner or later, but you know, our season was pretty unexpectedly good, I would say. My guys did a really good job. I want to thank Mayhew Tools, Steve Pickens from Picks Motorsports, Reynolds Auto Wrecking, LFR Chassis, Modulesky's Towing, all these people that stepped up this year to make this 10-team a reality. We ran up front a whole lot. I got a win and kind of finished pretty solid in the points here, so could be worse.
Well, statistically, you had a shot at the championship coming into this, and I'm sure it gives you a lot of confidence for next year.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the 51 team, you know, they even last year when we won the championship, they kind of put it to us the last 6 races or so and really, you know, stepped up their game as they did in 2018 and again this year. So they're setting the bar higher than our team ever did, and we're certainly up to the challenge to chase them. It's a good, fun rivalry that we have, and Ryan Stone, Ken Massa, Justin Bonsignore, they all work so hard. JR, all the guys on the team, Scotty, all these guys, they work just as hard as my guys, you know, so I don't like seeing them win, but I know that they do a great job. They put a top-notch team together, and that's what makes competing fun. That's what makes winning fun. You know, when you have somebody like that, somebody like Ron Silk and the 85 team, we all like to beat each other really bad, so that's what keeps this series strong, having a bunch of good cars and a bunch of solid teams that can run up front at every track every week.
Thanks, Doug.
No problem. Thank you.
That was Doug Coby with Pete Falcone. Now, during his interview, he said that he didn't get square to the bumper. Maybe you can explain what exactly he meant by that.
Well, with these cars, with the modifieds, the bumpers, the front and rear bumper of each car lines up really good. So you want to always have your front bumper lined up with the rear bumper of the car in front of you, getting into any kind of a situation so that you can, you'll kind of hit them and bounce off. And then if you need to make an evasive move, you can. Doug was actually turning down to pass the car in front of him when that chain reaction happened, had the right front exposed, and that was the outcome.
And that was a knockout punch.
Right. And, you know, it doesn't work with many other divisions, you know, SKs or SK Lights, the modifieds, you know, but full-fended cars, you can't do that. If you hit the car in front of you, you lift it right up off the ground, and you create a bigger problem.
So that's what Doug Coby was talking about, and for him, it sounded like, Ricky, the glass is half full, that even though his season came to a crashing start before the finish, a crashing halt, he was able to look optimistically at what he had accomplished, you know, being a car owner for the first time, starting his own team. There's a lot of work to do that. It looks like the yellow flag is coming back out, but the glass was half full for Doug Coby.
Well, I mean, you know, he's got the future to look forward to. I mean, you know, normally there's a bigger learning curve. You know, like you said, he's a new team owner. You know, that whole thing changed internally for him over the winter. And, you know, all the pieces and parts don't always fit right, and he seems to have everything going in the right direction, just a little bit of bad luck.
So Craig Lutz is our leader. 35 laps left in the 2020 season. And obviously, he will take the outside, so that means Justin Bonsignore. You know, this isn't like football where you can call for a fair catch and no one will hit you, or you can kneel down and run out the clock. Justin Bonsignore has to finish every lap, but he is in a great spot as he has to finish in the top 23 to win the title, and there are only 21 cars on the lead lap.
Right. Well, you know, I mean, the other thing that you have to consider, every time that there's a caution or a red flag, and there's been an incident where a lot of parts fly off a race car, you've got to drive back through where that debris was. And anything's possible. I mean, any one of these guys could pick something up and get a flat tire. So, no, it's definitely not over.
So in third is that man, John McKennedy.
Well, I think we're going to Pete, Matt.
Let's go to Pete.
Yeah, with Tony Baldwin to talk about that third place runner right now. You guys have been strong all day, sitting in third right now.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It was a little tight here after the pit stop, but it was just starting to come around. And unfortunately, the bottom groove is not the groove for the restart. So hopefully we can get back up there and contend for the win. But the Ultra Wheel Chevrolet's been really good all weekend, and we had fun last night with Michael Christopher with the Mohawk Northeast car. So see what happens.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good. Both your driver and yourself could double up on wins today.
Yeah, it's a little too early for that, but we'll hope for the best.
All right, thanks.
I guess 34 laps to go. It's too early.
Well, you know, you can't. I mean, you can't get overconfident and start counting your chickens and getting your victory speech ready this early.
So Matt Swanson is back on pit road in car number 3. So he is going to have to really battle his way during the final 33 laps. And we are doubling up the field, and we should be ready to restart momentarily. In the second row, John McKennedy and Kyle Bonsignor. And during the last restart, Justin was pretty tough on the inside. We'll see if he can repeat that against Craig Lutz in the 46.
Yeah, the cautions come back out to gather the whole field up, I think, Matt.
So we are getting ready to go back to work. Craig Lutz, 26 years old. One of the young veterans of the Whelen Modified Tour. And it looks like we are just about ready to relaunch. When they hit the line, we'll be down to the final 31 laps of 2020. And Craig Lutz so far has had the best car, and Justin Bonsignor has the best shot at glory.
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's definitely getting down to crunch time, but I wouldn't be a bit surprised to see if Justin sends this thing pretty deep down into one, Matt.
Okay, let's see what he does.
He's got nothing to lose.
That's true. The championship is his with Kobe out of the picture. And he does send it in. Your prediction was right. As he is battling Lutz for the lead, he is leading by a molecule coming off of turn 2.
Yeah, but he had to make that move work. I mean, because now he's going to be at a deficit down here in 3 and 4, Matt.
Let's see what he does. Even with Lutz. And now Lutz surges ahead. So Lutz will have the lead after lap 120. And now Bonsignor will have to fight for his life against his cousin, just Kyle Bonsignor.
Yeah, he's got a chance to get to the outside right now. He needs to make that happen. You know, at the risk of taking John McKennedy. John lets him in.
So McKennedy instead goes down low as he tries to springboard his way underneath Justin Bonsignor. And Kennedy is in 3rd, Justin in 4th. And behind them, Sammy Ramo continues to run in the top 5.
Yeah, this last lap, Justin got real loose out of turn 4 here. Sammy Ramo is having a great run here in the top 5.
As you are looking at our leader, Craig Lutz, and if he looks behind him, he'll see the 22 of Kyle Bonsignor looking for the second Tour win in his career. Lutz looking for win number 3, and McKennedy has not given up yet.
No, John McKennedy doesn't have any give up in him. He's going to do everything he can to get up there.
Here is Kyle Bonsignor going out of line. Make or break time for Kyle Bonsignor, and he couldn't get even with Lutz.
Yeah, Kyle made just a little bit of contact here, 3/4 way down the front stretch before he made that move, and I think that's what hurt him.
Now McKennedy went down low, didn't have enough bite to challenge Kyle Bonsignor for second. So McKennedy in the middle of a Bonsignor burger. Kyle in front of him. Behind him is Justin. And Craig Lutz continues to set the pace.
Yeah, you know, I mean, actually, Craig Lutz's car looks the most stable in the top 4. You know, all he's going to do is just keep doing what he's doing and stay out of the rearview mirror.
And here comes McKennedy down low again as he made a threat to Kyle Bonsignor. And Kyle able to handle it. 0.2 of a second is the advantage of Lutz over Kyle Bonsignor.
24 laps to go, Matt. Actually, Lutz is starting to pull out just a little bit.
And let's see what McKennedy does in 3rd, as every now and then he takes a shot down low against Kyle Bonsignor. And now Justin went down almost to the bottom layer of the track. So he is just trying to get into a comfort zone in a safe haven and end the season with a big trophy.
Right. Craig Lutz right now is the biggest cheerleader for John McKennedy because he wants to occupy that second place car.
So he doesn't have to worry about it. They get by one of the slower cars. That is Melissa Fifield. And it will be Craig Lutz stretching his lead. And John McKennedy, he is doing exactly what you said, occupying Kyle Bonsignor.
Kyle has to keep an eye on him because he doesn't want to lose second. He can see out his windshield that he can't catch the leader, so he's going to try to protect that position.
Kyle Bonsignor has a second at White Mountain, so this would be his second runner-up spot of the year. Sammy Ramo has drifted behind the fourth-place car of Justin Bonsignor. Then it's Ronnie Williams. And here comes Bonsignor again. McKennedy, he is able to get into second. So McKennedy, all that hard work has finally paid off.
Right, and there's 19 laps to go, Matt. He's got time. He's got time to catch the lead.
So John McKennedy, he would like to end the season with a win, and he can celebrate it all winter long. And there is McKennedy now strengthening his advantage over Bonsignor. Kyle Bonsignor, Justin Bonsignor also in the picture. But John McKennedy, he has had to work hard to get back into second, as this has not been an easy day for him. There is Justin Bonsignor. When he hits the line, he will be 17 laps away from his second celebration in 3 years.
I'll tell you, Matt, I'm not sure that John McKennedy's catching him quick enough to have enough time to work on him.
Well, right now the advantage was 0.6 of a second on the last lap, and we'll see what happens now as we have an issue. That is Ronnie Williams. He is slowed down in turn number 4. The problem started in turn number 3 for Ronnie Williams. So you talk about roller coaster days. Ronnie Williams is a poster boy for that. He has had his moments, and he has had his disasters.
He ended up in the infield there going into turn 3. I'm not sure how he got there. He's got damage to the back, the left rear nerf bar. I don't think you're going to see NASCAR allow that to... Oh, it's still connected to the bumper, though. So, nope, he does not have a good bumper on the back of that car, Matt.
So we'll see if they bring him in. 16 laps to go. And Ronnie Williams, he has been up in the top tier of the field, and he has had his headaches. And it will be aspirin time for the number 50 of Ronnie Williams, as the season does not end the way he had pictured it to end.
Right. You can see by the damage on the back, we know he didn't get into the infield all by himself.
So you say he had a partner.
I'm thinking he had some assistance.
And there is Justin Bonsignor as he continues to ride it out. Less than 15 laps separating him from a championship. And if you were him in his position, what would be on your mind?
Again, with Doug Colby's problems today, he's just preparing his interview for Victory Lane for the championship. But what I want to see right now, you saw John McKennedy on that last restart. He almost cleared going into 1. I think you're going to see him do something just a little bit different this time. We'll see if it pays off.
As you would say, he's got nothing to lose.
But he doesn't. He doesn't have anything to lose. And he also saw how Lutz restarted him the last time.
And of course, at this time, with 14 laps to go, does tire wear come into play? Who did the best job of protecting their rubber?
Yeah, who didn't use it? Who didn't use it up? Tire wear does come into play. I mean, they pitted it halfway. So you saw a lot of them squirming and squirreling before they pitted. So yes, tire wear definitely becomes an issue with these guys. And McKennedy, he definitely, he's good at conserving tires. We're coming to the restart here with 1 to go, and we're going to see. We're going to see how this restart goes for us.
So John Kennedy hoping for his best restart of the season. He's going to need it to get by Craig Lutz.
Yeah, Greg Lutz is not going to roll over and let him go by. He's not going to lay down, so it's going to be interesting getting down here into one.
So we are just about ready to go back to work. McKennedy planning his strategy. He's trying to think, get inside the helmet of Craig Lutz, giving him something to think about. And let's see what happens as they come up to speed, coming off of turn 4. As John McKennedy, he's not only out there for himself, he's thinking of his car owner, Tom Baldwin. As remember, Tommy Baldwin Sr. in 2007 ran into a fatal accident here, and now it is McKennedy out in front, getting the jump on Lutz.
Yeah, you know, that restart was all, oh, we had a wreck going into one, Matt.
And we see some damage. McKennedy stays out in the lead, and now the yellow comes out. Dave Sapienza is in the wall, and that will be our, I think, our 10th yellow, or wait, the 12th yellow flag of this race. So we have had a lot of yellows, and we've had a lot of excitement, especially on that restart when John McKennedy was able to move in front. What did McKennedy do as you look at Sapienza and our safety crew quickly coming to his aid? What did McKennedy do that you liked?
He got a whole bunch of help from the 51 car behind him, Matt. It was like he had nitrous in the car. The 51 pushed him down into turn 1 and right into the lead.
So we saw it from the head-on shot, and it was John McKennedy. And we were talking before, winning this race would mean a lot to Tommy Baldwin Jr. and all the Baldwins, as they have already won this weekend. On Saturday night, the open and modified race, it was Mike Christopher driving almost the identical twin of that number 7 car. I don't think maybe you could tell the difference, but I sure couldn't.
I was looking at him in the pits, and I couldn't tell the difference. I was standing beside both of them, Matt.
So Mike Christopher Jr., the biggest win of his modified career. Dave Sapienza walking under his own power.
That's always good to see. That was another one of those vicious hits today.
But we've had a lot of vicious hits this afternoon, and I think the double hook again will be used to extract that number 36 car from the wall.
You know, it's a pretty good accident scene. I mean, it's going to only be 4 laps to go here. You know, when we get back to the restart, you know, this race is coming down to it.
And you know, that old cliche, but it's true. You're only as good as your last restart. So McKennedy restarting on the outside, but Craig Lutz, maybe he can have a partner, the man behind him, which will be Justin Bonsignor. Maybe Bonsignor will assist Lutz the way he did to McKennedy.
Oh, you know who doesn't want to see that, right, Matt? Is John McKennedy. He doesn't want to see him, you know, Justin getting up there and pushing him, because he'll push him right on by. We just saw it.
So John McKennedy looking for his 2nd win of the World Series. His car owner, Tom Baldwin Jr., looking for his 2nd win of the World Series. And it would be a very emotional moment if those two things can happen. As we take a look at McKennedy in action, and how did he do it, Rick?
Well, again, Justin Bonsignor, you see him pushing Craig. And I'm just not even sure. I think all that happened there was McKennedy moved him up just a little bit and took the spot. We're coming to the restart right now, Matt.
So we will have 7 laps to go in our World Series 150 here at Thompson Speedway. And John McKennedy, he will be restarting on the inside, Lutz on the outside. And what will McKennedy try to do to disrupt Lutz? Good restart for McKennedy, back in front.
You know, Matt, that was the first time the leader started on the bottom on a restart.
Well, McKennedy must have known something, but he is getting a challenge from Lutz. Here comes Lutz as he is able to blast his way into the lead. Almost 3 wide as Justin Bonsignor moved up, but right now Craig Lutz has the lead. Less than 6 laps to go.
Yeah, Craig Lutz drove that thing down into turn 3 and really washed up to the outside. Kind of took the lane away from McKennedy, and this is payback.
And Ronnie Silk is in the action. Car number 85. He came from the cemetery to challenge for third.
All Ronnie Silk has to do at this point right here is let these two race each other, I mean.
So I think he will do that. It is Craig Lutz as he romps his way off the fourth corner. McKennedy trying to flag him down. And Ronnie Silk, we thought his afternoon was just about over, and he has a chance for his third win of the year.
That was an unbelievable turn of events there, man.
Now it is Justin Bonsignor, Sammy Ramo trying to invade the top five, but the spotlight is on Lutz. Ronnie Silk. He has done this a few times in his career. When you even forgot that he was in the race, he comes back to almost challenge for the win.
Yeah, I mean, and he's in the right position because we're 2.5 laps to go. If McKennedy gets to the back bumper, he's not going to have a chance.
McKennedy swivels around in front of Silk, and that enables Craig Lutz to lengthen his lead.
Yeah, McKennedy, a little bit of contact between he and the 85, and that may have just taken away his chance to win this.
And we are ready for the final lap. Craig Lutz ready to win the battle. Justin Bonsignor in fourth place. He is starting to rehearse his speech. There is Bonsignor. There is the leader, Craig Lutz, trying to win for the first time ever at Thompson Speedway. Coming out of turn number 4 with a flourish. Lutz will win the final battle, and Justin Bonsignor has won the championship.
Congratulations to Justin there. He did everything he had to do all day.
And there is his crew having the celebration. Those are the guys who did the heavy lifting. And one of the key parts of the race, Rick, was the pit stop. They got Bonsignor out in a hurry, as they usually do. Craig Lutz will celebrate, but so will this man, Justin Bonsignor.
Absolutely. You know, Stoney is Justin's crew chief. Hey, I mean, he runs a top-notch team over there. Good for these guys. Congratulations to them.
So they will celebrate. Remember, to all fans, we ask you if you could please help us out. No one is allowed on the track. And Craig Lutz, the Lutz Cracker from Miller Place, New York, has been able to get the win. And he has a checkered flag. And this will be a moment that he will never forget. When you can get that win at Thompson Speedway with all the tradition, the oldest asphalt track in the country, it is a very special moment and a victory lap for Craig Lutz. And you don't see, and he just tosses that flag away. Let's watch the key part of the race when he makes the pass against McKennedy.
You know, you see how he drags McKennedy up the racetrack a little bit more. McKennedy tries to do the crossover move, but it doesn't work for him.
And it is Lutz who's able to clear the 7. And he is now landing in victory lane at the start-finish line. And, well, Rick, I know you didn't know that you were going to be doing this when you left your house today. But I appreciate it, and I think all the fans appreciated it. You gave us a lot of insight on this race.
It was an exciting race to watch, Matt. And I'm really excited I was able to sit up here where it wasn't so cold.
Yeah, a fringe benefit. And now his crew is walking over to celebrate a championship. And Craig Lutz ready to climb out of the car. 2 wins this season for Craig Lutz. As this is his 77th start and his 3rd win. And you see the Sunoco fuel cans and the Sunoco checkered flag as we thank John Howland, the Howland family, Mike Joy, for supporting our World Series again this year as presenting sponsors. Also Budweiser and Boston Brewing Company for helping us out, stage a great show. And something new, and I don't think they did this when you were a champion. They have the champion in turn number 4, and they'll kind of dramatically bring him out after we have our interview with our winner, Craig Lutz.
Yeah, they're going to let each of them have their own moment in the sun here, Matt. You know, Craig Lutz as the winner of the event, and then Justin with the championship.
So this will be one of the lasting memories of the World Series. Craig Lutz getting the win, and let's go to Pete Falcone in Victory Lane.
Yeah, he's climbing out of that 46. A very happy Craig Lutz, happy to climb on top of the car, and one fist raised in the air, and he is ready to celebrate. Craig Lutz picks up his second win of the season, and just to cap off a wonderful year for you.
Yeah, you know, this place was like my arch enemy. When I first started driving for the 46 team, I hated coming to Thompson. And then just the whole group here. My crew chief, Doug Ojigo, gives me awesome cars, and my spotter, John Sanford, showed me around this place. And finally, after a couple years of running up front, finishing second and third here, we finally were able to pull it off.
Tell us about that pass for the lead.
Yeah, you know, I think after the tire change, we were the pretty dominant car, but I knew the 7 car was going to be there because it was vice versa in the beginning. But my guys had a good stop. We lost a little bit of the spots, but it was the right calls, and was able to work out for us.
Congratulations. Great way to end the season for you.
Yeah, it's awesome. You know, a 9-race season to win 2 of them shows us that we're a force to be reckoned with. But congrats to Ken Massa, Justin Monsignor, the whole 51 team for their second championship.
So Craig Lutz, pretty classy in Victory Lane, as not only did he thank his crew, he thanked the team of Justin Bonsignor.
And he also pointed out that he won almost a quarter of the races with a 9-race season.
Yeah, 2 out of 9. So not a bad performance and not a bad year for Craig Lutz. And at 26 years old, I think he is on the upside of his career. And we might be saying this a lot more as that great World Series trophy and Craig Lutz. I think he's smiling. We really can't see because he's got his mask on. But I bet that is a smile that could pretty light up this 5/8 of a mile track.
I bet you it is, Matt.
So as he gets his pictures taken, waiting in turn number 4, ready to take his bow, will be Justin Bonsignor. And he moved to this team in the middle of 2018, and it turned out to be a great combination as Craig Lutz brought some of his people to work with the Goodales, and it turned out to be one of the toughest teams. Now he changed his hats. He's got his Hoosier hat on. I think one thing, when you win a lot of races, you get a lot of hats.
Yeah, you end up doing the hat dance in Victory Lane.
And people still hanging around to see the changing of the guard as Kobe relinquishes his title, and the man who will get it, Justin Bonsignor. I remember once during a NASCAR race, Mike Joy was talking about young drivers in the country, and he said one of his friends, Mario Fiore, said to watch out for this kid from Long Island, Justin Bonsignor. And when you say something on national TV, everybody pays attention to it. And it turned out Mario and Mike Joy were correct. And Jason Bonsignor, at first he just had potential, and now he has 2 championships.
You know, Mario always had a really good eye for talent. And I remember having a conversation with him about Justin. And you're absolutely right. You know, I mean, he's certainly, you know, he's a pretty incredible driver. He's got an incredible team, you know, with Stoney and all the guys. So good for them.
And here he comes off of turn number 4. Pretty good donuts. I think we rate that about 6.8 on a degree of difficulty. He is going for more, and he deserves the accolades because to win a championship, I think, it's a lot tougher in a 9-race season because he had no margin for error, and every race was in the top 5 for Justin Bonsignor. He was first, fifth, first, second, third, and fourth. And to have 9 races without a stumble that is the mark of a true champion.
That's amazing. I mean, I don't even know. I don't have my calculator with me. What is that, like a 3.9 or a 4.1 average? I mean, that's just unheard of.
And he did it against the toughest drivers in the Northeast. So he will stop at the safety road, and he will grab the Sunoco flag now, changing flags from the Whelen flag to the Sunoco World Series flag and the championship flag, the 2020 championship flag. I take that back. And it will be a flag, I think, that will be hanging up very proudly in the home of Justin Bonsignore. He will take a victory lap with a championship flag. I think when you do what Bonsignore does, you can't take enough victory laps.
No, he's soaking this in right now. Right now he's trying to think about who he wants to thank and what he wants to say. But this is, I mean, this is a really emotional time for him, I'm sure.
So he makes a U-turn and heads out of turn number 4. And he deserves the accolades and the applause, because once again, to have every race in the top 5 or better, that is something that I don't know if it's ever been done in the Whelen Modified Tour. Obviously, it was a shortened season, but there was no wiggle room for Justin Bonsignore. Almost every race had to be perfect.
Yeah, and it was for him. I mean, top 5 every race, at least the top 5. That is a perfect season.
So they put the sign on top of the car, which designates the 51 as a 2020 champion. And he will be getting ready to climb out of the car. And this will be a moment that he will never forget. Winning a first championship is great, but not many drivers in the history of the Whelen Modified Tour have won more than one, and you can add Justin Bonsignore to that very prestigious list. As the Whelen sign is in place.
Almost.
Okay, and we have the Whelen trophy somewhere there. And all that remains is for the man, the life of the party, the life of the World Series, to climb out of the car. And his crew, they can't wait to congratulate him. So you see his crew to the right and the man in the spotlight. That very attractive and prestigious trophy being put on the trophy stand. So there it is. We have the trophy. We have the banner. We have the sign on top of the car. And pretty soon we will have Justin Bonsignore. Here he comes. Let's go to Pete Falcone.
The 2020 champion is atop the number 51, raising the 2020 champion sign. A shower of confetti and a very happy Justin Bonsignore climbs from that number 51, and he is here to now as the champion. And in a year that's been so weird for so many things, this turns out to be a dream season for you.
Yeah, for sure. Just an unbelievable season. Can't thank my entire team enough. Ken Massa, his family, Janine. Ryan Stone brings unbelievable race cars every week. Pit crews on point every week. Can't do it without our sponsors, Phoenix Communications, Mark, Marie, all their employees that are here supporting us today. Rob and his family from Clearcom IT Solutions, Fury Race Cars, Robert Yates Engines, all our product sponsors that get us here. Obviously it was a shortened season, but 9 top 5s in 9 races. We put a stamp on that we deserve this season's championship.
For sure. Now, you may not remember this, but it was only a few minutes ago. What about the race today?
Yeah, we kind of struggled all day. Got shuffled out real early on the start. You say you're not going to point the race, but you got to be cautious in the beginning. And those guys know that you're going to lift when you get to turn 1 because they can just clear your day out in the beginning. So we fought back, got to the lead. Just John forced that restart, and let's see what he had to do to get by me in 1. But our car just wasn't as good as we needed to be. So, you know, we didn't have that option tire this year, and that's pretty much what we've been winning on here for the last couple of years. So we'll go to work over the winter, and hopefully 2021 we'll get back to victory lane here.
Well, you did what you needed to do, and you come out as the 2020 NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion.
Thank you. I just want to thank everybody from NASCAR, Thompson, all the racetracks, NBC, everybody that stuck by this, the Modified Tour this year, all the fans for sticking by it. It's been tough for all of us, but you know, hopefully 2021 will be back to normal, and hopefully we can repeat.
All right, well, we got some great hardware for you over here.
So the World Series is over, the 2020 season is over, and Rick Fuller, what are your final thoughts? A wild day, an unpredictable day, and there is a hug as Justin Bonsignore now getting ready to get that trophy, and you spend the money, Rick, but the trophy, I think you keep it for a lifetime.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be a special place on his mantle.
Let's go back to Pete Falcone.
Make the presentation, Jimmy Wilson, representing the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour, making the presentation to Justin Bonsignore.
Thank you, Pete. And Justin, just before we get to the business at hand here, I just want to thank all the race fans. A lot of you have already taken off, but this has been a long season for all of us. But from when we were allowed to have fans and get going, you all have been with us from Jennerstown, Pennsylvania to White Mountain up in New Hampshire and all points in between, and we thank you. Justin, it's been a hard-fought season. To be a championship caliber team this year, you've had to, and your entire team have had to be in a position to be ready literally with a 2-week notice, not knowing what setup to put under the car or anything to be ready for the season. When we started at Jennerstown, you got a 2-week notice to be ready to go racing on June 20th. You and others went to work, came to the racetrack prepared, and that's a championship caliber team. And that's why you're here now for the second time as the NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour champion. So on behalf of the France family and all of us at NASCAR, it's my honor to present to you your second NASCAR Whelen Modified Tour championship. Congratulations to you and the team.
Thank you. I just want to reiterate, I want to thank Jimmy Wilson and everybody at NASCAR, especially Jimmy, all the racetracks, all the promoters, everybody involved. I couldn't imagine the sleepless nights Jimmy had just for us to get back to the racetrack. And he doesn't usually get a round of applause, but I think he deserves one.
So Justin Bonsignore has thanked Jimmy Wilson, has thanked the crowd, and we would like to thank you. Ricky Fuller, you did some fast math while Justin was talking. What have you come up with?
Actually, I was just trying to figure out his average finish, and it's in the 2s. It's just amazing. You know, his worst finish is a 5th out of these races, and Stoney and the guys, they did an amazing job this year, and congratulations to them.
Okay, your final thoughts of not just today, but the entire 2020 season.
2020 has been crazy, Matt, as you know. The racing this weekend was incredible. Right down to this year, Doug Colby had a little bit of bad luck to keep himself from giving Justin a run for it, but these guys deserve it. And you see Justin Bonsignore, and I'm sure that picture will be hanging up in a very prominent place. Maybe there'll be more than one at his shop, one at his home. But Justin Bonsignore, a deserving 2020 champion of the Whelen Modified Tour. So the celebration is about to start in Long Island as he has a bunch of crew members who are ready to congratulate their driver. So Justin Bonsignore did exactly what he needed to do, finish in the top 23, but
He had some peaks and valleys within that 150 laps before he finally arrived at the mountaintop.
He sure did, Matt. I mean, that race for him, there was a couple of times he kept getting stuck on the inside on the restart, stuck on the inside, and he's losing 3, 4, 5 spots each restart, and that had to have been weighing on him. But, he managed to come home comfortably the champion here in 2020.
So the winner was Craig Lutz, but this man won the big prize. So that is the story from Thompson Speedway. For Pete Falcone and Rick Fuller, I'm Matt Buckler saying so long from Thompson Speedway.